Well, good morning. Welcome back to Planet Doug. Today is the third scooter day trip. First day trip, I went to this beautiful village off on the other side of the volcano. Second day trip, I went to Lake Minanjao or Lake Maninjao. That was spectacular. Actually, both trips were spectacular. And yesterday, it poured rain all day, just torrential downpour all day, all night. Couldn't go anywhere. And today I thought it was going to keep raining, but I see a little bit of blue sky back there, just a little bit. So I decided to go on my third scooter day trip, and today I'm going to a place called the Harau Valley. All right, I think we're ready. I think we're ready. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to get out of here earlier than this, but I didn't make it. I had a lot of things to do to get the scooter ready and to get ready to leave here for the day. All right, let's go. Got to get through a little bit of mud here to start. With all that rain yesterday, man, did it come down. 55 kilometers to the scenic valley. Woo. Heading into the sun now. That's bright. You really have to be careful at this time of the morning on the roads here, because everybody is zipping off to work, and on their way to work they're dropping their kids off at their various schools, and everybody's trying to get these errands out of the way as quickly as possible. They're just sort of dashing across the street, around corners, coming at you from every direction. So you really got to keep your eyes on the road. I'm still making my way along this back road, heading towards the main road, riding into the sun. But I noticed right here a nice view of Mount Marapi. It's kind of rare to see it so clear. Just wanted to get close to this rice field where they just planted some new seedlings, and you can see the volcano there. And where I came from is over on that shoulder of the volcano up there. Yeah, and there it is, Mount Marapi. It's a pretty major crater at the top too, when you think about it. I think that must be the crater all the way from that tip to that one. I mean, that's where it would have erupted long ago and just didn't form a lake up there at the top, like Lake Toba and Lake Maninjao. But yeah, to be honest, this view is nothing unusual. This route that I followed, on every side of the street you see views like that, with the rice fields stepping down like terraces. I just passed another opening on my left that shows some of that scenery I was talking about. I'm going to try to do a U-turn here and go back and get some video of that or take a picture. So I think here's a place where I can turn. This is the direction that I should be riding, with the sun pointing in this direction, lighting up the land beautifully. Okay, there's the spot on my right. Now I have to do another U-turn. This looks like a good spot. Here we are. Oh, check this out. Lift my GoPro off its scooter mount. Look at that view. Rice terraces, and it's a very clear day today with the nice view of the hills, and I think that's essentially where I'm going. The Harau Valley might be back in those hills, or maybe it's like towards the end off in that direction. I'm not sure, but man, there must be some beautiful areas to explore back in those hills. Very nice. Well, I've just reached the road that I've been avoiding all this time. What is going on? Oh, that stupid truck was turning, but he didn't have his signal light on. Just getting across this road is a challenge. And it's so hard to judge because you never know how fast people are going. They all go at different speeds. So you think there's an opening, and it turns out the guy's going 1,000 miles an hour. Or you think there's no opening, but it turns out the guy's crawling along and there was plenty of time for you to go. Anyway, hopefully I don't have to stay on this road for too long, but I remember cycling on this road. It was a very rainy day when I did it, and it was pretty crazy. Whew. Time to rejoin traffic. Well, here's a nice big break. And hopefully most of these big trucks will turn off and follow the main highway. And then I can take the smaller road to Payakumbuh. There's a wide field here on both sides of the road, heading from the road to the hills on the edges, and the entire field is full of rice fields, rice paddies. I've arrived in the city of Payakumbuh. It's a relatively small place, I suppose. It's not a major metropolis, but as a town, it stretches a long, long way. It's like a long, skinny city. So I feel like I've been in the middle of it for a long time already. I've been driving and driving and driving, and it just goes on for a long time. I still have another like 9 kilometers to go to get to the intersection that I think it was, downtown Payakumbuh. That's where my hotel was before. Ooh. Ah, sore butt, sore butt. One interesting thing about this town is that it's very flat for a town in this part of Sumatra. It's very flat, so you actually see cycling clubs. I remember when I rode my bike through here, I came across like big groups of cyclists all wearing the same, you know, cycling uniform, like the jersey. They all have matching clothing on, fancy bikes. And I saw one again today as I was riding in on the outskirts. Maybe 20, 25 men on bicycles, all in matching outfits. But yeah, just because it's so flat, it's more appealing for cycling. You're not constantly going up and down. It's quite unusual. What is going on here? I guess there was an accident there, and that guy on the scooter ahead of me just decided to slow down and look at it. Yeah, and they had that woman coming over from the side, just sort of slowly curving directly in front of me without looking. So yeah, you have to be on your toes on a scooter or bicycle here. Well, I seem to have arrived at the entrance to the Harau Valley. I've left the big city, and as you can see, the landscape is really, it just opens up out of the blue. I was on the main road, and then there was a little turn off, and bang, here I am. And I think up ahead I can see some steep cliffs starting to emerge. And again, this is for me kind of a reconnaissance mission all over again, because I don't really know what it is I'm going to see when I get here. I mean, I have a vague idea, but exactly what's here, the lay of the land, the various roads and where they go, yeah, I don't know anything about it. I'm starting to see quite a number of homestays and guest houses. Yeah, there'll be lots of places to stay here. There's family homestay, looks very nice. A-frames and nice little cottages. It looks very nice. Hello. Selamat pagi. How are you?
Fine.
Cool. So this is the Harau Valley?
Yes,
Yeah.
welcome to Harau Valley.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where are you from?
Canada.
Oh, Canada. You come along?
Yeah, by myself. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You must buy for the entrance fee.
Okay.
For 5,000.
5,000.
Where you stay?
I'm staying in Bukittinggi.
Okay.
Yeah, with my friends there.
Yeah. I think you stay at Abdi Homestay. So many bule at Abdi Homestay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know if there were hotels here or not, but homestays and guest houses.
Homestay. We don't have a hotel in
Okay, well, I think of them as the same thing. Homestay, guest house, hotel.
Yes, like guest house behind the waterfalls we offer you.
The waterfalls?
Yeah.
Off that way? There you are.
Moment. Yeah. This is your receipt.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh. Well, this one is pointing this way,
Yeah.
but I have another one here pointing that way.
Yeah. Be careful.
Yeah, riding here was very dangerous.
Yeah.
So many trucks,
Yeah.
big trucks, and I'm not used to this kind of road, you know.
From Bukittinggi.
Yeah.
How much your price for the rain?
One day, 100,000.
100. Also, it's so cheap.
Is it? I don't know, but it seems okay. Yeah, 100,000 rupiah. It's a new one, kind of new.
Yeah, the new one. I think the new one.
It's good condition.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to ride this. It's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
but I have to be so careful.
Yeah.
Because even in Canada, we drive on
behind
the other side.
Yeah, the other side.
So
Yeah,
I'm like, it's
Europe, right?
Canada.
Canada and Europe, or
Well, it depends on the country, but in Canada we drive on the right.
yeah.
Here you drive on the left.
Yeah.
So,
Be careful. Take
yeah,
care, right?
I will.
We are working for government. We are working for government.
Okay.
If you have a problem, you can come here and I will help you.
All right, thank you very much. Well,
You want some guy to with apa? You want somebody to guide you? No?
I don't think so. I'm just going to drive around, look
Yeah,
at the
okay,
scenery. Should be okay, I think. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome to Harau. A friend of mine told me that there was some kind of an entrance fee to enter here. He said it would be something like 10 or 20,000, but that was the ticket gate there. It was only 5,000 per person. And there was a man sitting there, and I think while I was chatting, someone came by on a scooter. I think he knows everybody who lives here and everybody who's a visitor. So he spotted, somebody go by, and he's like, oh, I don't know that person. So he hopped on his scooter, and he's like, zoom. He needs to get his 5,000 rupiah entrance fee. Harau Valley Homestay. So many, look at this. Homey Homestay, Novi Homestay. Boma Homestay, Arcila Homestay. Beautiful, look at that scenery. Yeah, I don't even know how large an area it covers. I think it's relatively small. Wow. Going to have to stop here for a second just to, wow, okay, there's one of the waterfalls. More A-frame homestay places. Wanted to pull over here to show some of the scenery here. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. It's always the rice fields that set it off so beautifully with the cliffs. And then looking ahead of me, sheer cliffs. And just over there, there's a waterfall. I think there are 3 or 4 of them here. I wonder if it's possible to go up to the top. If there's a viewpoint up there, that would be quite spectacular. Oh, that really is quite something. This cliff right on top of the village. Well, I'm slowly getting the lay of the land. The entrance was just behind me, and then you go through a cluster of businesses and guest houses. And right here is kind of the entrance to the official valley itself. And from what I can tell from here, the road goes in a loop. So it goes ahead a short distance, and then it hits an intersection, a Y, and then goes around in a loop. So for me to go from here all the way to the end of the valley is about 5.5 kilometers, and then 5.5 kilometers to come back. So it's like a 11 kilometer round trip on this road to go all the way around the valley. And there are, I guess, various waterfalls coming off the cliffs around us. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive ahead and go around, and I guess we'll be passing a lot more guest houses and things like that. I was not expecting this at all, like all this development. I was definitely not expecting it. Just based on the area, you know, just this region as a whole, I thought the valley would be quite wild and untouched. But it looks fully developed, like a park with so many guest houses and homestays. I'm so surprised. Look at this, another homestay. Has, yeah, wooden construction, balconies, nice little separate, semi-separate cottages. Well, look at that. Coffee and eatery. But again, yeah, it doesn't look exactly open, does it?
Hello.
Hello. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Harau Sky Water Park. And they went for their own color scheme here. That is for sure. Look at that.
Hello.
Hello. So there's the I wonder if there was a town meeting about this place as a development, because, you know, if I were on the village council, my vote would be against it. I mean, there's nothing more incongruous than this and the cliffs behind it. The tone seems out of place. But hey, who am I to say? Water parks have never been my thing, but hey, lots of people like them. But it does feel like the color scheme is a bit harsh for the natural setting here. It's pretty funny. Harau Sky, Dream World. It's almost hard to take in the scenery because the cliffs are so sheer and they're so close. You have to look straight up, crane your neck all around to be able to see the scenery around you. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. I was just riding past this little building, looking at it, and I hardly even realized there was that big cliff right behind it. And then on this side, you can't even see the cliffs. It's covered by the trees, but it's right there. So I'm riding right beside a sheer cliff wall, which is quite interesting. Here's a really nice place too. Fikri Homestay. You can see the 3 cottages with that cliff right behind it. Very nice. Nice setting for this place. The rice fields here seem to be on a different schedule. It looks like they've already been harvested, or just about to be harvested, a lot of them. Around Bukittinggi, the rice fields are a brilliant green right now because all the rice is still growing. So the season here seems to be ahead of the season in Bukittinggi. Could have something to do with altitude, because you came down quite a bit in altitude to go from Bukittinggi to here. I see some wooden walkways out there. I wonder if that's meant for visitors. Oh, thought I'd hop off the scooter for a minute, stretch my legs, get some blood flowing into my butt, and maybe go for a walk on these raised platforms in the rice fields. It's unusual, this walkway. I think it has to be part of tourism, right? I haven't seen anything like this in other rice fields. I don't think they need it for harvesting, planting rice. And they must have built this just for visitors like me. But I don't know. Makes me wonder if the farmers had something to say about this because it kind of cuts their fields up and maybe it makes it more difficult for them. I don't know, or maybe it makes it easier. It's like a little bit of a maze, right? You can, yeah, a very complicated sequence of pathways. So he's harvesting by hand. Look how deep he is in the mud, like up above his knees, right to his thighs. And that would be very tiring doing that all day. A complete surprise. Again, I was expecting a much more, like a less developed setting. I didn't think there'd be anything out here. I thought it would just be a rough village road. I had no idea it was so developed for tourism. Interesting. A lot of the fields have ribbons strung across them. As you can see, they're all sparkling in the sun to keep the birds away. And I noticed that this field here, the whole field, quite a distance, is covered with netting. Very fine netting, almost like a fish net. Must have been built, like they must have made this netting for this purpose, because there's no way this couldn't be fish net. It wouldn't be strong enough, you know, to actually go fishing with it. But yeah, keeps birds from eating the rice. There's another guy doing the harvesting by hand. Look at that. He's actually putting the harvested rice on a piece of plastic, like a boat, and then pulls it behind him as he moves along. Wow. Now that I'm off the scooter, I can feel the heat of the sun. So yeah, he has to cover his head. Otherwise he'd be baking all day. And his tool must be incredibly sharp. It's going through the bundles of rice like they're not even there. There you can see that the rice plants are all hanging over heavy with the rice. The air feels very cool and fresh down here, almost like the cliff walls have trapped the cold air of the night. So I think it feels a lot cooler, very refreshing down here. Really like it. And speaking of boule, I just passed two women in a like a odd motorcycle with a sidecar. So they're being driven around the valley. That looks really nice. They probably arranged that through their hotel, or their guest house, I should say. The woman at the ticket entrance, she did offer me a guide. She asked me if I wanted a guide to show me around. Oh, look at this. I wasn't expecting this at all. The road pavement disappears. I just assumed it would be paved all the way around. One funny side effect of shooting video with a GoPro mounted on your scooter is it does make you drive a lot more slowly and carefully. So you actually end up babying your scooter more than you would normally, just because you're trying to keep the camera from bouncing all over the place. So I've gone all the way around the far end of the valley. And now the gravel road is, about to turn back into pavement again. And I think, that is going to coincide with a whole bunch of guest houses again, right? And I'm sure someday the entire road all the way around will be like this. They just haven't gotten around to that last section yet. And here are some fish hatcheries. You can see at the very end of the valley there some power lines going up. Don't know if there's any hiking trails heading off in any of those directions. Still coming down the road that goes around the other side of the valley, and I saw a sign here that said area for rock climbing and camping, and I guess these are the cliffs that you would do rock climbing on. They would definitely be challenging. Like, what do I know about rock climbing? But I can tell you I'm not trying to climb up these cliffs. Definitely not. Yeah, the weather is really staying nice, which I'm very pleased about. Getting pretty hot, so I took the jacket off down to my t-shirt, get more of my farmer's tan going on. I'm just busy taking pictures. Funny thing is that I don't seem as concerned about taking pictures as I used to be. That's partially, of course, because I'm shooting video all the time. So I don't really need photographs because I have the video. But it's more than that. It's like even when I take a picture of my smartphone, I often kind of mentally shrug my shoulders and think, well, you know, why am I even taking pictures? What's the point? I used to take a lot of pictures, everywhere I went. And I guess the idea was that I would have them as a memory for the future. But these days, I sort of feel like the future is already here, and there isn't very much future left. So why take all these pictures? I mean, what am I going to do with them in the future? I feel like my life will continue basically in the same pattern that it's in now. And there's no reason to think about a future where I'm going to sit down in an easy chair, in a rocking chair, smoking a pipe and looking at pictures from the past. I don't think that's ever going to happen. So yeah, like, why take the pictures? And here I am. I am back at the intersection. And I think there's one more thing to see here, and I think it's the main waterfall. And I think it's kind of back near the entrance where I first arrived. Certainly beautiful scenery, and it's definitely worth, you know, worth coming here for sure. Especially if you happen to be passing through Payakumbuh. Well, I mean, you could come here from Bukittinggi quite easily. But yeah, here I'm heading through the bottleneck. Got high cliffs on both sides of me. The air is much, much colder right here in the shade. It's really pleasant. I just looked at my map, you know, Google Maps, and I think the main waterfall is up here along a different road. And I think there is a bunch of homestays and waterfall up here as well. Be another extension of the Harau Valley. So that's a nice perspective of the main cliffs, like when you first arrive. These are the cliffs that you see. It's a really nice perspective. The main road that comes in is right over there. That cluster of palm trees and houses. So it's not very far to this waterfall, about 2 kilometers, I think. It's called Sarasa Bunt Waterfall, I think, something like that. Well, I think I found the bustling heart of the Harau Valley. I'm fairly certain these are the main waterfalls, which again I stumbled across completely by accident. This happens to me all the time. I was just about to turn around and just leave, you know, drive away from the valley, and I thought, oh, I wonder what's up this road. And I came up this road, and it turns out this is where a lot of the action is. This whole area, it's very, very slow right now, but I mean, there's a big parking area here, all these souvenir shops, and cliffs all around. And the road goes all the way around here, and there's like guest house. There's so many guest houses all along that road, and they're building more and more of them all the time. And you can see another parking lot here and more restaurants and things here. And I think this pathway, all souvenir shops lining the path, leads to the waterfall. So I think we head in this direction. Oh, there it is. Total surprise, as always. I never know what's going on. I just turn the corner, and there it is. This is what I've actually seen, like all the photographs. This is the pool, you know, with all the floaties. Look how many of them there are. Can you imagine how many people come here on the weekend or on holidays? Like, I'm the only person here that I can see, and I have my choice of floaties. If all of these are rented all at once, there wouldn't be any room in the water. Okay, but there is the waterfall, up and up and up and up. Because of the heavy rains lately, and yesterday and last night, it rained like torrential downpour for hours. So I was expecting like a thunderous waterfall, tons of water coming over the top, but maybe that's just not the kind of waterfall this is. I think it's always a little bit like this. Yeah, very beautiful though. Just enough water falling to keep this pool full. So there you go. I found the beating heart of the Harau Valley. Everything surprises me. Everything delights me. I made my way almost to the base of the cliffs. Looking straight up at the waterfall now. Yeah, it's really just a light spray more than anything else coming down. Keeping these rocks moist and covered in moss and lichen or whatever it is. And here's the swimming pool. And I stumbled across some kind of a trail. Yes, this is a camping area, according to the signs. There don't seem to be any like facilities. You'd have to bring your own tent. But they actually have an open space where you can camp. And then this is the trail that I found. But again, I have no idea where it goes. Just thought I'd walk along it for a little bit, see where I end up. The pattern continues though, with things I'm interested in always being gone or closed. There were a bunch of places there that had mozzarella snacks that looked like breaded mozzarella. I was like, oh, those look so good. And there's a bunch of places that have signs for these mozzarella sticks, but nobody has them. They just they just have the signs, but no mozzarella. Wow, look at that. What a surprise. Again, I had no idea this was here. It's another waterfall and another pool. A mini version. Well, actually the waterfall is pretty much the same. In fact, it looks like it might even have more water coming over it. And the cliff here is just as high. Look at that. Huh. Again, I had no idea it was here. All I saw was a trail. And I thought, well, I might as well follow it and see where it goes. And this is where it went. Not as popular, I guess, as the first pool, but it looks just as nice. And I guess if you come here on the weekend and it's really busy at the first one, the secret is to keep going and go to the second one. Yeah, basic same setup. I have all the floaties, inner tubes, and the pool. And this one has a walkway going across the pool. And in keeping with the pattern, I see so many signs for ice cream all the time, like ice cream parlors, ice cream, frozen food and ice cream, signs everywhere. But the only place I can ever find ice cream, of course, is at a supermarket in the freezer section, you know. These places the ice cream places are never open. My scooter is attracting friends. I guess it's because I parked under the tree in the shade. So I parked my scooter there, and then everybody parked beside me. So I haven't found all of the snacks I was looking for, all of my ice cream and mozzarella sticks and things that they were advertising, but I did get battered and fried bananas, pisang. Very good. Well, saying goodbye to the waterfalls at the Harau Valley. And I think I can get back to the main road by heading in this direction. And might even be passing something called the Harau panorama. Seems to be up ahead on this road, but I'm not sure. Not sure how it could be a panorama because we're down at ground level. But we'll see. Just going to follow this road. There's a lot of construction going on here. A lot of trucks carrying gravel and dirt and sand. Not sure what they're working on though. Yeah, those cliffs behind me, that's where the waterfalls are. There's a lot more guest houses out in this direction. And after I pass by the panorama, that's it for the Harau Valley experience. Going to head back to Bukit Tinggi after that. Really nice experience to come here. Can't believe how nice the weather has been. Got very lucky with that, considering how much it was raining yesterday. And the fact that they were calling for thunderstorms all day for the next 10 days. Got very lucky. Maybe this whole road is considered a panorama. Get some beautiful views. The valley floor with all the cliffs around. Wow, okay. Yeah, you don't have to go up very high to get a nice view. Barely climbed at all, and already I can see very nice views. Oh, okay. Here's a lookout point. So from here you can see, I mean, I guess this whole area is known as the Harau Valley, but that's the bottleneck I was talking about. That's kind of the entrance into that hidden valley in the back there. And then this is, you know, the cliffs continue all the way out here. And I guess the exit from the valley, you head off in that direction, out that way. And then around, and then that goes back to Payakumbuh and Bukit Tinggi. Gorgeous. From up here. Huh. I keep just stumbling across these interesting discoveries just by going down a street, like just picking a random road and going down that road. I never quite know what's there, but it always ends up being worth it. I figure that must have been the panorama there, because now the road goes down again. And that is it. The ticket, the entrance gate, the ticket booth is right there behind me. That's where my journey started into the Harau Valley. And now I'm starting the, you know, 50-ish, 45-ish kilometers back to Bukitinggi. Should be a really nice ride in this beautiful sun. Amazing day, I can't believe it. I got so lucky. All this luck is probably coming from the scooter. Great decision to rent it. And with that, positive thought, positive energy about the weather, I'm going to shut down, end the video here. Day trip number 3 to Harau Valley, and I'll see you in the next video.